Hi guys, how are you? So I'm looking forward to our second lesson tomorrow. I wanted to get you some of the pictures from the first lesson. And I'm going to start with Lois. And this is called the Caddy View, which is straight on. This one's called Down the Line View, which is shooting down the center of the target line. So first thing we'll do is just play the swings and let you see what your swing looked like when we started. Both of you, by the way, have some really good parts about your swings. And I'm sure that with a little instructions, we're going to make good golfers out of both of you. That's Lois from the Caddy View. Set that back to the beginning. And here's Down the Line. Sorry. Okay, didn't hit the ball too good in that one, but that's okay. There was a number of them where you did hit the ball okay, and we're going to make it even better. But it shows the swing at least. So let me show you a couple of things that we look at in order to measure what's going on in a swing. The first one is whether or not your head stays steady over the ball and that you don't sway back and forth. What we're trying to do, remember, is we're trying to hit the ball first and then the low point of the swing right in front of the ball. So if you do take a divot, the divot should be in front of the ball. The clubs are designed so that you can see they're slanted. And so if you hit down on the ball, if you hit on the back of the ball before you hit the ground, that face right there is going to project the ball upwards, and there won't be any ground to get in the way of the interaction of the ball with the club face, and or to slow the club down before it gets to the ball. So the ideal swing then has a swing that comes down, hits the back of the ball, and then goes down into its low point, starts back up again. Okay? So our swing, the swing that I teach, is designed to make you be able to do that consistently. So you always know where the low point of the swing is. Okay. So in this swing, as you can see, Lois, your head moves down and to the right as you do your backswing. Okay. All of that, if the head stays right in the center, it makes it much easier to get back to the position that you were in at the very beginning, which is there with the club right at the exact right point behind the ball. But when you start moving off the ball like that, it makes it more difficult to get back to the same point. And as you see, you never actually do get back to the same point. Your head keeps going back and raising up. And in this case, you made pretty good contact with the ball. You didn't take any divot at all. But it was, one of many that could have gone either way. So we're going to try and get that to be more consistent. The other thing you notice here in this one is that because you're leading back, your weight is on the right side. Well, in order to hit down on the ball, instead of, see the way you're trying to lift it up, you're trying to lift the ball up here with your swing up. Instead of doing that, we want to hit down on the ball, let the club do the work, lifting it up. That's much more power that way. And this left arm, as you can see, is bent here, and we're going to work on keeping that arm straight so that it's one straight line from your shoulder all the way down through the club at that point. That makes it much stronger too, and that creates an arc that's always the same. So it's the circumference of the swing stays exactly the same all the time, and that way you can determine where that low point is in the swing. And here you can see all your weight moves back to the right side here, whereas your weight really should be on the front foot. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you is that when you go back, that right knee stays bent. If you straighten this right knee, which we like to do, straighten the right knee, then your hips will turn more, and that will allow your shoulders to turn more, so that the swing can come up into here and add a little bit more power as you come back down. Okay, so that's the Caddy View. And let me get this back to the beginning. I do want to put this right at impact there. Impact. You see this at impact, how this goes like that. That's not too bad, actually. You have nice club lag, Lois. Your hands are very loose and relaxed. You can see that actually when you first start out the swing, your hands move first and then the club follows, you see. So you have very relaxed arms. When it gets to the top of the swing, you can see the club keeps going a little bit, but you do tighten up your grip here, but the club keeps going a little bit. That's nice. That's nice. Very good. Okay, get rid of all those lines. Alright, so from the back now, we also want to see whether the head's moving vertically. Over here we were looking at the horizontal movement of the head. You can see some vertical movement, but here you can see the rest. And we also look at then the posture. Oopsie. The posture to make sure that you're staying in the same inclination throughout the swing. As your shoulders turn around this inclination of your spine, this inclination should stay the same. All of this is in preparation to try and get the club to come down from the inside in right, hit the ball first and then the ground, so that you know where the low point of the swing is all the time. The less moving parts there are, the less chaos you are going to impart into the place where the club hits the ground. So the more consistent that you can be in hitting the ball first. So we'll take this back and see what happens here. Alright, oops, come on, not so fast. Alright, so this from down the line, this looks pretty good. You notice that, see, your right knee is still bent here. If that knee straightened out so that it was more like that, the knee was more back, that hip would turn more. That would allow your shoulders to turn more. Right there, that would allow your shoulders to turn further than that if your hip had turned further than that. That's all good. This is good though. We like to try and have it so that the shoulder plane, this plane here, is perpendicular to the spine angle here. So you do that really well. That's very good. Your head has moved down a little, so although it seems to raise up then as you come down, see? So we want to try and get the head a little bit steadier in terms of its vertical movement, but that looks real good right in there. That's all very good. It's really nice, except for bending of these arms here, especially the left arm. Your right arm will sort of take care of itself if your left arm stays straight. But see, if this left arm was straight, that would be so much more of a powerful move right there. And your club does turn over a little bit here. You can see that in some of these also, where the club closes as it comes through, but we'll work on that. Anyway, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad at all. So when your the club should come out right about through the bicep area here, so as opposed to up here by the shoulder. So that's a little bit high, but so we'll work out get you to turn around through. It goes back through the bicep, you see? It does. There is a kind of a strange little move right there with the arm. You see that right there? Your elbow comes in. It'd be a lot easier if we got rid of that's another one of those extraneous movements that is hard to repeat the same every time. So we'll get you coming back like this and then going straight down like that. So if you come back like that, you can go straight down like that. Yeah, otherwise, there's a lot to work with here. You're coming from the inside. Most people come from the outside across and slice the ball, but you're coming from the inside. That's very good. Very, very good. We might work on your grip a little so that it's a little bit tighter. Excellent. Good work. Okay. So then we did the let's see, there. So then we did the impact drill, and the impact drill was designed to show you the proper way to try and keep that arm straight. Just move this a little bit. Keep this arm straight, like that. Okay, so, and you did that by making the swing a lot shorter. Now notice in this case how your right foot is, or your right leg is straight, because we started out that way and didn't move it, kept that weight on the left side. So watch this now. So you come through, boom, look at that hit. Hits the ball first, doom, and then into the ground. So that's really good. Look at this. So look at this difference here. In just one lesson, look at this. That's you after the impact drill. This is you in the same position in your swing to begin with. And this weight is over on the left side here, just like it should be. This is all pushed back. This is a tremendous, tremendous change right there. I mean, in fact, I'm going to take a snapshot of that right now because that is really good. There you go. Okay, so that's really good. Speaking of snapshots, I also have, which I will send to you, a picture that I took. You asked me to take a still of what the proper setup for that drill is, and I'll send this to you. So basically the weight is on the forward side. The left leg, or the right leg, is pretty straight. There's a straight line between your right shoulder, or your left shoulder, and the ball, right down there, and your foot is flared out just a little bit, and then you just take the club back as you did in this, and I'll show you again here. Take the club back to there, and then through. I want you to get the look, or get the feel for what this is like, because watch this. I'll go back to the beginning here. All this same instruction applies to Tom, of course, but I'll get to his pictures in just a minute. But if I put this little guide, this little grid in here, again, to watch your head during this. Look at that. See, you still have a tendency to come back a little bit, but not nearly as much. So maybe we're going to start with your head a little bit back first, and then it'll be easier for you not to move back. That looks really good. Really good. So you're trying to keep your head down, I know, but what you're actually doing, in instruction we say feel is not real, because you think you're keeping your head down and right over the ball, but really you're moving it back. Okay? And that has a tendency to change the low point of the swing. That's probably why you're not taking a divot right there, because you're hitting the ball good first, but then the club is coming up. You're still trying to lift it up. Everybody has a tendency to try and do that at first, to try and lift the ball up, because they don't trust the fact that when you hit it there, that ball is going to go up. When you hit down on it right there, the ball is going to go up because the face is pointed up. So you don't have to lift it. The club will do the work. You just have to select the proper club. All right, excellent. By the way, let me show you what happened when you tried to then take a full swing after you got done with practicing the drill. You did a full swing here. Watch this. So the first thing you did was to back off to from the drill position, which is that. You backed off to what we call an address position, where it would be more comfortable to start the swing here. And then you went through a full swing here. You see, you're still moving back, but look at that. Now, this club turning over here, that could be, I don't know what that's about, but we're going to work on that in terms of your grip and holding onto the club a little bit more. I think what happened was you hit the ground, the heel of the club hit the ground there. But look at that. That is really, really a good position right there. after the ball. That's what we worked on with the impact bag, remember? That you really learned well. So, all right. I'll be right back with Tom's analysis. Okay, here's Tom's swing from the Caddy View once again and down the line. So we're just going to play through this and take a look at what it looks like. Tom, you got some really good parts to your swing. You consistently hitting the ball, hitting the ground in the same spot every time. You're going to be able to make a lot better contact. Okay, that was original Caddy View swing. You can watch that over and over as many times as you want. And here's your down the line view. It was a good hit, but you didn't have a lot of consistency in making good hits like that. There was some stray shots in between, shall we say. Alright, so let's take a look then once again at the little cage here and how you do in terms of keeping your head steady. You also go down. Isn't that interesting? Both of you do exactly the same thing. But you are straightening your right hip. See Lois, if Lois is watching, watch how much more his hips turn because his right leg straightens. That's really good. It's really good. We'll probably get you to go a little bit higher in the swing than that. That's you got enough flexibility to take those arms up around in here instead. And then you can see your head has moved way out of the position it was in at first. So once again, it makes it difficult. And see how it's moving up as you come through to try and compensate for the fact that you've moved down on the way back. And you don't want to hit the ground. The other thing you do to try and not hit the ground is right before you get to impact is that you start bending this left arm here. That's called a chicken wing. We call it chicken wing effect. And in addition, the club flips here. So in other words, the club head has passed your hands at this point. We'd like to see it back here like we practiced with the impact bag, but we'll work more on that. Everybody does the same thing first. And you can see, so your head, as you come down, your head moves up, keeps coming up. Your whole body comes up. That's why you hit it low a lot, because you're coming up over the top of the ball. If you time that move just slightly off, once again, it's adding chaos to the ability to get back to the exact same point right behind the ball. So, but you do end up nice on your with your weight forward there, and so that's a good part. Okay. All right. So let's go back to that impact position right there. All right. So now on this side, we'll do the same thing with the circle around the head and the spine angle. Check out how that works. There, so, oops. So there you can see as you start down, you move your hands away to the inside. I'm going to have you come back much straighter when we get going here. But just by turning your shoulders, you're pulling your hands way to the inside here, and then lifting them up. Your head stays very nice and steady vertically there until you get there. Then it starts dipping down. Your shoulders at this point, at the top of the backswing here, not too bad. Both of you guys have pretty good, we call it the left side bend, left tilt in stack and tilt, where your shoulders try and remain perpendicular to the spine angle here, which is pretty good. Both of you do that pretty well. Tom, you straighten this back leg good, so your hips turn on an angle. So your right hip goes up, left hip goes down. That's good. Now at this point, you can see this move that you do in here gets up here, and then you see how your hands move forward. That's another area that adds inconsistency. We'd like to have you come up. So in other words, if you came up this way, oops, if you came, playing in reverse here, if you came up this way, then you could go straight down that way. See how much easier that looks? If you come up this way, you can go straight down this way, as opposed to the way you actually do it, and that is you come up back here and then roll over the top to come back down. So it's a whole different plane. This plane being the one that you come down right there, and this plane being the one that you go up right there, you see. So there's really no sense in switching that plane, especially if you're going to switch it to a higher plane. I mean, some people switch it to a lower plane, but switching it to a higher plane is a recipe for disaster. But, however, you do keep the club in back of your hands pretty well right up until you get to impact here where you flip it. So it's very close. And look, your head has gone right back almost exactly to the point where you were at the beginning. But getting back there every time, now this was a good shot, like I said, that's because you were pretty much back in the same position when you hit the ball. Look at that. But getting back there every time is not something that you can do easily unless you hit 1,000 balls a day, which none of us do. So the swing that I teach is one that will allow you to get back there more often than not by removing any of this extraneous movement during the swing. I hope that comes across as the reason why we're doing all this. Once again, your hands, see where your hands come out here? We'd rather have you stay bent over a little bit more and have those hands come out at the bicep area. Same thing on the backswing. Your hands, when they go up, should go through kind of the center of the bicep. So, like I said before, that's kind of where they should go through on the way back up. So we're going to change that backswing a little bit, but otherwise, a lot of good moves in there. A lot of good moves. So now with you, let's try that impact drill. Right there. Try the impact drill. Lois is watching very seriously in the background. And here's what you did with the impact drill. See your weights? Your weight's forward on your left foot. It's very nice. Your hips are pushed forward. The handle is in front of the club head. The handle's in front of the ball and the club head. This is where we want. This is exactly what we want it to look like at impact. That's the purpose of this drill, is to try and recreate this line at impact like Lois was able to do. So let's see what happens here. Take it back, and then look at that, huh? Look at that. Look at the difference here. Look at the difference. Which one's a golfer here? See, your weight's on the left side, and your weight's on the left side here. Your hands are still in front of the club head. That's great. The club head has hit the ball first and then the ground. You see it's going through the ground there. Look at that. Boom. That is good, you guys. Hey, come on. In one lesson? Are you kidding? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that versus this. See? I mean, come on. Look at this. This is an athletic position. This is, I don't know. This looks like you're slapping it. So, this is real good. Real good. Real good work. Let's take a look at the head movement once again, like we did with Lois, to see if it changes with the drill. Look at that. See, now you do still have a tendency to dip down a little bit, but you haven't moved back at all like you did in the original swing, remember? Look at that. Look at that. That is good. All right? Come on. Give me some. That's good. All right, so now all we got to do is get that to be the feel that you have during your full swing. Okay? You want to keep you back a little bit, keep from moving your whole body forward there at the very end, but we'll get that. You do that by tucking your hips in underneath here. You can do it. You got enough flexibility. Believe me. Anybody, haven't seen anybody who can't do this yet. So this is going to be good. So basically, this swing is basically, see, rotating around your head. Rotating around your head. We call it the upper center. It's actually the thorax, which is right below it's right at your Adam's apple. That's the center of the swing, and that's the top of the spine, and that's right where the whole shoulder girdle rotates around that. Your left arm stays straight, and that's the way that you keep the circumference down here, the circumference of the swing being exactly the same. The radius doesn't change by doing anything with flipping your hands or standing up or squatting down or bending your elbows or anything like that. If it stays the same, you can be assured that you're going to hit the back of that ball first and then the ground, just like that. Boom. And that's the way clubs are designed to play. That's the way they work most efficiently. So you get the most consistency, the most distance, the most accurate target line flight. So there you go. You can do it. See? All we got to do is get you to do that on a full swing when you're putting some power behind it. All right. Well, there you go. I will see you tomorrow. And bring all your good stuff with you. And we'll get this thing going. So we can go out and play some golf and have some fun. All right, guys. Thanks.